always a solid support for your team.
Definitely one of the pillars holding L5 up, but wow.
Here we go, guys. If you missed it, if you blinked before, now this is your dream coming true. Warhead Junction first game. And L5 is the one that chose. They banned Braxis. MVP Miracle banned out Infernal Shrines.
And Warhead Junction. If you put Warhead Junction and L5 in the same sentence, all you can think about is that miraculous comeback that L5, the old L5, managed to pull off against MVP Black with the Hunt
right.
Illidan, with
the
Illidan doing the miraculous
Lunara and
backdoor.
Tracer.
Yeah.
The backdoor Illidan, that was one crazy game for sure. I'll still remember until the moment I die. But we're going into the draft. Warhead Junction, of course, with this man pick. First pick goes to MVP Miracle on the left.
MVP Miracle has Dami. They're going to want the Illidan, so they're probably not going to first ban it. Will L5 first ban it? Is one of the first questions that we have going into this draft. Meanwhile, MVP Miracle, what will their first ban be? I mean, I could definitely see it being Abathur.
Yeah, Abathur, Falstad, Illidan.
Yeah, but if they predict the first ban Illidan coming out from L5, then they can just ban Genji, then receive the first ban Illidan, then first pick Abathur, which definitely makes sense on this map, especially considering Abathur's very high win rate on this battleground. So I would like to see a Genji first ban, but we'll have to see what MVP Miracle has in mind.
I didn't catch everything you said. You were rapping so fast, but
it's
okay. You're rap god now.
Okay, so I was hoping for a Genji first.
But I followed your logic though,
yeah.
So it's fine. And that's the question. Do they actually want to have a throwaway, but they actually ban it out before?
Oh wow. So Dami didn't really want to play the Illidan? I'm not sure what is going through MVP Miracle's heads here. They might have planned this out in advance though.
Let's see. Maybe with Illidan banned already, they don't have to necessarily ban Abathur. They can use it for themselves later on.
Or they could open the Abathur and just go for the Lost Vikings again, because that was the strategy that they utilized last time on this battleground against Tempest, and they did a very good job on that match up until they lost.
Yes, up until they lost. Yeah, that's the big word, lost.
Yeah, I mean, like, it sounds dumb, but that's exactly what happened.
Their macro, and they were doing very well with Cassia, with the Lost Vikings, the first one in phase number 2, coming out from Korea. Actually, their macro was perfect, getting all those warheads and putting on to the perfect distribution, but they could not finish the game. That was the thing.
So last time they did it too. I think they first picked Ario last time, right? It was the Anubarak, Ario, Rehgar, Cassia, and the Lost Vikings. That was the composition that MVP Miracle used, so L5 will be mindful of that. SDE is a drafter that does a huge amount of research. I've talked with the guy. He's very meticulous in how he goes about these kinds of things, so he's going to definitely have that in mind. So we might actually see... The music's gone again. Oh, it came back. Okay.
It's okay. Ario, first pick, of course, from Miracle. And do they want to bring in Stitches? And Judy has been playing lots of Stitches, and that's one huge thing away from Miracle. If they take that away from Judy, he doesn't have too much heroes, actually, so they can target ban Judy from here on.
Definitely is the Muradin, so he always has that, and Muradin is at least as good as Stitches on this map, but we see the Abathur.
Along with Tyrael, they're hiding their damage later on. Abathur, of course, providing global, and Tyrael is just going to support all the dives when going in. If Miracle wants to take the DPS and show it here, seems like they want to pair it up with Genji. Illidan already gone. Greymane will be the very likely choice of L5 coming out.
So maybe L5 wants to ask the question here. If you're going to play the Lost Vikings, you have to take it in this rotation or you're going to ban it. Or maybe they're expecting the Lost Vikings and have something prepared for it. I mean, once you go into the post-16 team fights, then Abathur definitely, the side with Abathur definitely has the much better team fights. So L5 may be banking on that as well. MVP Miracle could either go for a standard assassin pickup that pairs well with Ario into some kind of tank pick.
Yeah, still Vala Trinity is open. Vala and Tastar could be the pickup of this rotation.
Owen, Vala, and Rhaegar. So MVP's Miracle's long-lasting love for the Auriel Rhaegar double support continues on. But the thing is, I'm not sure if this particular combo is that OP, because I know it was banned several times against Miracle, and it was used by many teams. Like MVP Miracle used it, Mighty used it, Fnatic used it, even Team Good Guys used it. So it's very popular, that's for sure. But the win rate itself, not too impressive.
Yeah, especially against when they had to face foreign teams, and that's exactly where Chromie came in, and lots of counters. And with Rhaegar, oftentimes Rhaegar came in, it's more of a Chinese styles, oftentimes because they needed that cleanse. That's where Rhaegar came in at 7. But this time I don't think they are considering about cleanse too much. Of course it will come in handy, but Rhaegar has fast camp clearing, also fast rotations. That's the power of Rhaegar coming in. But with this double support, because L5 have a good ban. Okay, I like this Dehaka ban. Dehaka ban, even though Judy has not been playing Dehaka too much.
Oh wow. They really are trying to signal the Vikings pick here, aren't they? With the
I think so. I think L5 can just leave the last pick for the mage. I think Li Ming could be the perfect pick. And getting all those resets with the Lost Vikings, it's so much fun. Because I'm a Li Ming main.
Yeah, and even if the Vikings aren't the pickup here, like Zertul is very decent against double support to begin with, and is even more powerful when paired with an Abathur on such a huge map as this, so definitely good ban. And L5, they have a wide map here. They can pick pretty much whatever they want to.
Of course, after losing Nachojin, they really did not pick too much Falstad. I think once, maybe even none, because they don't really have a dedicated player playing on Falstad yet. Maybe this time they'll show something new and bring out Falstad and see who it is playing on Falstad this time.
I could definitely see SD playing Falstad, but it's the Greymane Uther. Very standard combination of heroes. I've said in my last cast that these two heroes do particularly well when paired together, and Greymane, one of the best assassins to pair with an Abathur.
Yep, that's right. Also has the option to go with the Cursed Bullet or go for the Throat, depending on the enemy comp. I think that's the flexibility in Greymane is really coming in handy in this meta right now. Because they have the burst damage and also the pokings from Cocktails.
And something to say about the poke from Cocktails is that Greymane's Cocktail poke actually proves to be extremely effective against Auriel, because, well, Auriel is usually weak against poke, and if you look at the statistics, in this particular patch, Greymane has a 68% win rate against Auriel in general, so that's something we have to keep in mind. So I really like the pick coming out, and I would like to see a Li Ming last pick from L5, as you said, but wow.
Seems like it will be perfect, and Judy once again will be on Stitches, and it is the Lost Vikings coming out from MVP Miracle, and I think Li Ming is the perfect last pick for L5, as you and I mentioned before.
What would they pick if they were to get super funky now?
I would love to see their Falstad for the first time. I think it's almost the first time for L5. And I think this is almost the time. Great for disengage whenever someone gets hooked. You can also use the Gust to protect your ally.
I could see that. What about Zagara?
Zagara Network.
I mean, we're hoping for Li Ming or Falstad, so like we're spending the rest of the time joking around about fun picks that might work, right?
I think they're just considering what else can happen at the end.
Or they could just go for something dumb like Lili.
Double support in that way.
Because I like Lili, there isn't much of a reason.
Oh, we'll see.
Oh, wow.
Valera!
Super exciting.
No Zeratul, no stealth means Valera coming out in phase number 2 for the first time in Korea in phase number 2. This is exciting, guys. That's a pick.
Is it going to be Jungla's Valera? And if it's going to be Jungla's Valera, I am super hyped. Jungla is probably the best melee assassin alongside Rich right now, and to see him play such an interesting hero.
Let's see, Miracle is looking to macro this one out with the Lost Vikings, but there was the Valera last pick coming out from L5. Let's see which team takes the lead in this series. Let's go into Warhead Junction, game number 1. In blue, MVP Miracle, Judy on Stitches, Dami on the Lost Vikings, Jaehyun on Ario, C-Moving on Vala, and Sniper on Rhaegar.
And in the red, we see L5 with Hooligan on Tyrael, SC on Greymane, Jungha on Valera, SD on Abathur, and Swoi on Uther.
Oh, it is Jungha playing Valera, and the Lost Vikings, even if you are the best player on the Lost Vikings, against Stealth, it's so hard to actually catch all that because you will be going back and forth between 3 monitors.
MVP Miracle with the standard start. When you have a Lost Vikings on your team, you generally either stalk out a bush if you're in Hero League, but in competitive play, you generally just rush to either the top or bottom fort and try to get that.
With the Avatar hat. Then Hooligan actually, okay.
How did he get in there?
Oh, there was not much of a threat, so it was okay at the end of the day. And Avatar coming in handy there.
So it's probably going to be the equal trade.
Oh my. Let's see.
Oh, is Sniper going to die? Oh wow.
That's the power of double support. You just saw, you just witnessed, guys.
What is Dami? Dami!
It's not the worst thing. It's okay, guys. And I don't think Dami played the Lost Vikings last time.
Last time it was Sniper.
Yes, it was Sniper because we were talking about StarCraft things on StarCraft map. So, but Dami on the Lost Vikings, I believe it is the first time competitively that he's playing the Lost Vikings.
Yeah, because when he was on his previous teams, he never played it, and on Tempest, the Vikings player was always Duck. So I don't know. That should be a one-off thing. That shouldn't be happening continuously throughout the game. I hope not.
Yeah, it's the first death buff, I guess. Well, first kill buff comes along at the same time too. But Valera, of course, with Jungha on that hat, will be looking for those kills. Does the combo, gets out. He can also die pretty quickly too. But the thing is, from the other side, the one thing I worry about is
Abathur's getting shoved out from Eric.
Okay.
Yeah, oh god. The Observer. I wish he had caught that. It's always fun to watch an Abathur scuttling away from an Eric.
That's true. One thing I worry about, to continue my thought, is there's not much of a CC on the other side. Actually, for both teams. So it'll be very hard. Oh, actually gets a pretty good hook. And the mini... Who said Tyrael's minion wave clear is not good? That's the value you get it.
But only once.
Yeah, only once. And there's the Viking Vibery. So we'll have a pretty fast camping time whenever he gets all the stacks. You can bribe the minions.
Oh wow, good dodge from Swoi. So far, the experience game going in neither side's favor, with Dami being slightly inattentive, to be honest, to the general map, because you saw the Locust coming out, right? And if he had switched to Olaf for a split second, then he would have noticed, because you can tell how far away Abathur is from you when you see the time bar on the Locust, right? And it was almost full, so he could have moved Olaf slightly forward and caught Abathur, but I don't know. At least he's not dying, right? All the Vikings are healthy right now.
Yeah, at least he's keeping all the teammates safely for the team also. Similar camp timing for both teams on the side, but... Okay, but with the fort down for L5, actually. And fort down on, I believe, on the top. Also for a Miracle, right?
Yeah, they exchanged forts
from the beginning.
At the beginning of the game, and generally speaking, the side with Abathur on it will feel a little bit more pressured in an Aperture versus the Lost Viking matchups, but purely because this is such a huge map, it's not like L5 could have done anything different, because if it's a smaller map and this matchup between the Aperture and the Lost Vikings takes place, then it's possible to sort of open with a 2-1-2 so that you can sort of, like, although you're going to be behind in structures, rush to the side of the map with the Vikings so that you prevent the forts from being traded. So that's a possibility if it's a smaller map, but because Warhead Junction is too huge, even if you do the 2-1-2, you're not going to be able to, you know, completely prevent the fort exchange. So L5 didn't really have a choice there, so far, no irregularities at all except for the one hooligan death.
Yep. The one hooligan death. That hook was great, and knowing the timing and saw the positioning of hooligan going around the other side, they took the timing and the perfect choice to actually take the camp away from the MVP Miracle. Making seems a lot more solid compared to when they were playing Mighty last weekend.
And Dami's, all of his Vikings are in the correct position. Valera moving on upon Olaf though. But it's not for a kill, it's just for a solid push. This is pretty huge though.
Yeah, to just keep on having the pressure onto the top lane. I think that's one of the bigger questions that Dami will have to face as his macroing, microing at the same time.
Really good decision from L5 to put so much weight down upon the top side of the map like that. Olaf is not known for having hefty push, so if Valera and Abathur keep on the pressure upon that part of the map like that, oh!
The spot Dami, and that's gonna be a kill, and that's the reason why they brought in Valera, and when they spot everyone onto the side, because they have 10 earlier, L5 just hit 10, they will pressure a little bit more towards the bottom lane because they are using the Lost Vikings to out macro a little bit.
This could be a team fight, though. Valera is so far away.
Yeah, still top. They know exactly why they're going in. That's exactly why. Hooligan does safely exit.
Oh, wow. Is it going to be a keep? Because they can see it.
Are we going to see Jungha Valera backdoor for this time?
This is a sub 7-minute keep. If MVP Miracle don't rotate more members to the top keep in the next wave of minions, it could be definitely that. So Miracle have noticed that and are moving as a group onto the top side of the map, but knowing that Jungha goes back, so although Miracle are managing to stay ahead in experience, we have to say that overall I think L5 is playing the map slightly better.
Yep, and that will be
the standard boss exchange now taking place. Both sides will have no problems.
Yeah, because they, each side still has a fort. I believe both the walls too. So the thing is, MVP Miracle does have their own camp actually pushing the top lane. That's one better news for Miracle right now.
And I don't know. I mean, the boss exchange is pretty standard, but I would have liked to see it have been exchanged the other way around, simply because both keeps are exposed that way, and it would have been nice to see a base race.
Base race from the beginning. I would love to see that happen once in Korea.
A 7-minute base race with bosses pushing towards an open keep. That would have been.
Well, good old ETC could have been the perfect pick for that, but not anymore. And it seems like they will just trade forts, and Valera
Eric falls to Valera.
Gets the kill, and seems like Valera is oftentimes used for picks and also backdooring here, as Jungha is oftentimes just soloing onto the exact other side of the map.
Jungha with the solid rotations. MVP Miracle are up a talent here, however, and they probably won't be able to get a keep with this, although the nuke probably will be used, or will it not? Olaf dashing in to use the nuke.
Ooh, they're using it.
Wow.
This will get the keep for sure, yes.
It will be the keep. L5 have decided to let it go.
But meanwhile, this boss is doing some damage, but not too much. And Valera actually goes top. It seems like they will trade keep for this.
Very smart, and Valera will now recall back, presumably.
Instead of risking...
Oh,
actually gets
wow.
stunned! Does not... Can he?
Olaf.
There's a hook. I think that secures the kill. Basically, Jungha's looking for the escape. Can he actually...
One hook dodge. It's all... Wow!
I think it was on
Holy.
cooldown. Basically, about to be... Wow, that was a nice escape from... That's the thing. There was no CC available. The Rain of Vengeance missed. And there we go. Jungha just escapes like...
Pretty impressive. That's all there is to say about it.
I also like the decision to actually trade the top keep because that will have the same pressure on the top. Instead of just risking a little bit more to actually go towards the bottom keep would seem like a unlikely, less likely option there for them.
Yeah.
So trading the keep on the top lane. Also, they have Avatar, so
I can definitely agree with that. And once again, we see Dami being slightly inattentive to the entire map again. But that was an underwhelming Ultimate Evolution. I'm not exactly sure.
There was so much energy in it.
Like, I was about to say that maybe he used Ultimate Evolution as an escape, but when Ultimate Evolution was used, Olaf wasn't looking at Abathur at all, and that's what you were sort of pointing out. So, I don't know, like, maybe SD really wanted to take down that fort.
We'll see. We'll only know. We'll only get to know. Maybe we'll never get to know why he did it. Oh. Okay, now this one's a lot of pressure coming out from L5. They have never done this with Valeera. They always had the split push from top and bottom at the same time, most likely. But because they know the warhead was about to spawn, they actually held on to it. Actually, getting control of the mid lane too.
Miracle are a talent tier ahead again.
Avatar came on top, even... Ooh, and having Valeera at the same time. Let's see how the Lost Vikings actually...
Yeah, they're not going to get any Vikings. But the interesting part of this rotation was deciding to forfeit the bottom half of the map from MVP Miracle, and Valeera is probably going to get out, so they're probably going to exchange warheads equally.
Yeah, that's
But
2 for 2.
it's interesting why they decided to do this. Perhaps it was to wrest control of the top side of the map because that's the part where both keeps are open. But
I think they saw the big rotations on the mid, and some Lost Vikings on bottom. Possibly thought the last one will be on top.
Olaf died.
Valeera wanted to look for a pick, but they put double resources onto top, so she couldn't really get much value from staying there for such a long time.
This is going to be a keep for MVP Miracle.
Yeah, for sure. And they still have one more, though.
Are they going to fire it at...
Jaehyun is holding one. Let's see if they want to go pressure in to the core, and they are going in. They're pressuring in, making Valeera hearth back home. I think that's the one they're going to. I don't think they can core here yet.
This is some interesting posturing from MVP Miracle because L5 are going to hit 16 pretty soon, and why would they want to risk a team fight at this talent tier? I don't think
They actually
yeah,
they also got the clone off of Avatar, so I think that's a good sign. And now they're pressuring into the core a little more.
They still want to do it.
Yeah. Now that's exactly the type, and focusing is on Sniper, but double support is healing so much. There's a Divine Shield onto Valeera.
The
and they get a kill.
misses!
Misses and does get the kill onto Vala. Second kill will be on Rehgar.
Throws away the warhead as well, so...
Ooh, Jaehyun was holding that warhead until the last moment, and as you were saying, it was a very greedy move by MVP Miracle.
I'm trying hard not to be toxic here, but what the hell were they thinking there?
You're not trying to be toxic?
Whatever.
And
no, but seriously, they were at an equal talent tier, and L5, post-16, have the much stronger team fight. They were a keep ahead. They had a warhead in the pockets. Why did they need to team fight there?
I think that's a question. That's a good question for the interview coming out later. With this 3 nukes available onto their side,
This
they
could
will
very well be a core.
Yeah, they will go for the core, and seems like the double nuke is coming down 60 and 20, and will be game going to L5. That's going to be GG. that throw at the bottom, it was a deja vu of their last game with the Lost Vikings. They made all the right choices with the macro. The Lost Vikings really stayed passive. It was more for the distraction of the other team. They could not do the finishing blow, and they were counterpunched against the other team once again. And that's game number 1, going to L5.
I mean, I would call that a deja vu if it wasn't as bad, but it was so bad that it was on a new level of bad. Because you deciding to team fight and extend a little bit and fighting at the center of the map because you sort of mismanage your rotations, that's an understandable mistake. But what they did there at L5's core, that's an inexcusable mistake. What were they thinking? They were so far ahead. And then they decide to give a team fight right when L5 hits level 16.
I was following until the moment they got the clone out. That was good.
Yeah,
that was good.
That
and
was
then,
understandable.
And then later, they could hard macro out, maybe get another keep because they were still holding a nuke. Jin was holding on. Of course, they were against 2 nukes on the other side, but they got the initial approach. They got the clone out. They got the warhead. Oh.
I mean, to be completely fair, had the Ancestral connected correctly on Vala, maybe the team fight wouldn't have been as disastrous.
Maybe, but still, she was in a very dangerous position. I think she would have been going down anyhow, but a little more damage at least. Not that big of a. It wasn't a trade. It was a massacre.
Yeah, so maybe if the Ancestral had connected, it wouldn't have been game over instantly. But but I really hope that MVP Miracle isn't thinking about that mistake in those terms. It's not about the Ancestral healing. It's about you having absolutely no business being there in the first place. So L5, props to them. They played the map admirably throughout the entire game, made almost 0 mistakes. Jungha's Valera was a joy to behold, and MVP Miracle, Dami's Vikings play, not too convincing, but still it did the job, and it was doing the job very well up until the last moment when they decided to throw it all away.
Yeah, that's right. And I thought someone was not going to be toxic today,
Oh,
but
sorry.
and that was also L5